The case against Sean Diddy Combs gets darker by the day, and new developments literally happening almost by the hour. Joining me to discuss the latest as of this moment of our recording, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI special agent. I got to ask you, this case, it has raised so many questions about power, about money, about who was all involved with Diddy. How far do you think this reaches? We heard from a bodyguard just yesterday, a former bodyguard of his that was with him in the '90s, and the first time that I heard politicians being brought into the mix of people that frequented the Diddy parties. How deep does this go? We're getting to Epstein territory. It seems like.
It's deep and it is gonna get into Epstein territory. All you have to do is look at people who have erased their Twitter pages concerning Diddy, that are coming in by the droves, and then in addition to that, just the photographic evidence that exists. And of course, that isn't doesn't mean somebody's guilty absolutely by their association with them. I mean, look at the list of celebrities that have been photographed with Diddy. Um, but I think it's certainly going to be far-reaching, and I think we've just scratched the surface.
And that's, I think, what makes this interesting is at the beginning we're like, okay, this is more celebrity, this is more music industry. Epstein was very much, politics. It was world leaders. It was things of that nature. Are we going to get that deep
Right.
in some of this with Did? I mean, and with that being said, if we do start going down that road, and it's more than just this celebrity over here, this rapper over here, this whatever. If we're starting to get into the territory of political figures and such, it can take a much darker turn, I think. And there's a lot of people who have a very large vested interest and power to prevent some of that information from getting out, like we saw in the Epstein case.
Now turn right onto North. Right. I mean, when you look at this, he was given the key to the city
Hmm.
of New York City. And of course, that was a political move and a political gesture. And he definitely was hobnobbing with political individuals. And I think the only reason that that is significant is because these are people in power.
Hmm.
Um, was anybody involved with covering anything up? And again, I'm not saying
Uh-huh.
this definitely happened, but we know in the indictment after reading it, we know that certainly his inner circle was involved, if you believe the indictment, in covering up all these nefarious acts. Was anybody else involved?
That's a question I have. And it's something I've been trying to dig into the past couple of days. And I don't know if there is a correlation here, but I do wonder if there was some things to look the other way in New York specifically. Maybe paying off some specific people to not look deeper into Diddy for all of these years. The question being, how did he get away with this with all the rumors? And there's so many people involved. People talk. People on the inside knew, maybe not quite to the extreme level of his depravity, but enough to know that this is illegal. Um, and the key to the city just given last year by Mayor Eric Adams, and that's obviously a whole other ball of stuff going on right now with him and so many New York City officials. Are we going to see these two issues, these two scandals, are they going to intertwine at some point? We don't know the details of all of the scandals. I know we've been hearing about the Eric Adams, but I there's many other officials who have been charged, indicted, all this stuff. Uh, I am wondering, is this circle part of that in some way, shape, or form?
Well, the commish of New York City, his place was raided
Yeah.
and searched, and so many other New York officials. And if there is any connection between Diddy and what went on in terms of the sex trafficking or any of these other charges, the arson, the
Yeah.
bribery, so forth, they're going to know it because now they have both ends. They have all that information they seize from Diddy and all these other officials. We're going to, let's put it this way. I will be surprised if we don't see entanglement from politicians as
Yeah.
opposed to if we do.
Does the raids on all of these New York City officials, would it have anything to do? Would it be sparked by any of these things that have been going down with Diddy? Would it have anything to do with it, like directly? I mean, because there's a lot of questions here of what kind of involvement may have been going on, and of course, it's all just speculation. Is it just looking the other way, or is it like participating in some of the parties? And there's it's kind of a collateral thing that each side has shit on each other, and we're going to protect each other. And here's the key to the city, Diddy, showing our dedication to that agreement.
Well, what we know is in terms of these probable cause affidavits that would have had to have been written to search these individuals' homes, and it's a large spray of individuals that surrounded Eric Adams,
Yeah.
that had their homes searched and their devices seized. And anytime that happens, any thing you find that is of a criminal nature, even if it had nothing to do with your probable cause to be able to search it, is still completely usable.
Mhm.
So I believe that even though the nexus for the probable cause related more to Eric Adams and his allegations, I think if anything exists that intertwines him in with Diddy, we're going to find out about.
That's going to be very interesting to see just kind of what is found out there. I am wondering if there is a stronger connection between the two, or other officials than just Diddy getting the key to the city and it being a very bad optic nowadays. It certainly raises a lot of questions. A lot of people going down at the same time. Coincidence or connection? That's, I think, the question there. Let's
Well,
talk.
it's the
Go ahead.
same office, the same group of prosecutors, the same group of investigators. So I agree with you. Like I said, I will be surprised if there is no nexus found.
Yeah, that's yeah. It just keeps blowing your mind every single day. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.